So we got to take another trip back overseas because this is just another example of why you need to show up in the midterms. Okay, I need to make a series on this because I've got all types of content as far as why you need to show up for the midterms, and this is just the latest example. We have a situation going on in Belfast, North Ireland, where there was another situation. I've been covering a lot of these situations and circumstances that have been going on overseas. One of the last ones was in Southampton, where Henry Nowak, a 19 or young man, maybe 18-year-old young man, was stabbed to death by a Sikh in the UK, and there was massive protest because of that, and the negligence of the police officers because the young man happened to be white, it seemed. So it seemed like there was some kind of racial bias there a little bit, maybe, who knows. But they were arresting him as he was telling them that he was stabbed and he could not breathe. And you could clearly see that his hands were going pale as they were trying to put this man in cuffs. And then eventually, you know, he stopped moving and he unfortunately passed away, lying on the ground in handcuffs after being stabbed by some illegal immigrants that weren't even, by an illegal immigrant that wasn't even arrested. And we have another situation where an illegal immigrant in Belfast, North Ireland, ended up getting a guy pinned on the ground and attempted to, there's no PG way to say this, he attempted to cut the man's head off in broad daylight. Yeah. An illegal immigrant, a guy who we later found out that was trying to help the man a few days before move into the apartment that he eventually was staying in. Yeah. He attempted to kill him in broad daylight. And of course, the video is online. I'm not going to show you guys that video for obvious reasons. I'm not going to show you a man nearly having his head cut off in broad daylight. YouTube wouldn't like that one too much. And it's quite gruesome, okay? I'm sure most people don't want to see anything like that because it was quite bloody. But yeah, Belfast is another city in the UK that is up in a blaze. Check it out.
But there was one voice note that stood out. And before Richard Tice, wherever you are, just pin back your logos. This was Rob.
Morning, Jez. On my way to work, as normal. Listening to you talk about the thing that happened in Belfast last night, all the unrest. Well, yes, rightly, you shouldn't condone what happened. What else have people got to do? They're not listening. The political class are not listening. These people who are coming over here illegally, they're rapists, terrorists. They're coming over here. It's literally like putting a wolf in a sheep field. You are giving them a target-rich environment. You haven't vetted them. You've done nothing. All you've done is dump them in a place where they can wreak havoc. Where they come from, guess what? There's no law. If they can do literally whatever they like. They come over here, there's lawyers, of course, taxpayer funded, they get a nice cushy home, running water, Sky TV, gym memberships, bus passes. They can literally go where they want and create havoc. And when they do, the people that foisted them upon us, guess what? They say, don't get upset, don't do anything, don't go out and cause unrest. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, stop reaping, then you might not have to sow it, because this country is absolutely on the edge. They cannot take much more of people getting stabbed, raped, blown up, you name it. You foisted it upon us for the last 25, 30 years, ever since Blair said, I'm going to rub your noses in it. Well, guess what? What goes round comes round. And I think the political class have got a very, very, very big smack on the nose coming.
Yeah, so you heard a little bit of that there. Crazy situation going on, man. And here's a couple of images of, you know, the streets being set ablaze because, of course, the people are angry in Northern Ireland. I can't play that clip because there's some music playing in the background, but yeah. Set ablaze. And not only that, the people of Northern Ireland are so angry that they're literally stopping vehicles stopping vehicles and making sure that the occupants of said vehicles aren't illegal immigrants. Yep. They've had enough. The people have had enough.
I'm so sick of this equivocating from the left, this both sidesing this. Let's hold two ideas in our heads at the same time. Let's talk about the far right at the same time as we watch a man being decapitated in the streets. This isn't a day to talk about, well, the influence of the far right, and then we can talk about the guy being decapitated after that.
Why not?
There is a direct...
Because if we don't talk about it,
no, I'm not. I'm going to finish. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I was just letting that sit in the air for the audience to make their own judgment. There is a direct line between the people who say we need to focus on language and the violence that you are watching on the streets right now. Nana, you made the right point. People are not listening. Our people are not being listened to. And when you have the feeling you're not being listened to, you feel like you have no other recourse apart from violence. To your point, that's not right, but that is human nature. And unfortunately, the politicians have been able to suppress these narratives with the rape gangs and with illegal migrants for so long, but suddenly with Henry Novak and with the actions we saw this morning, there is footage. And you can't unsee what you've seen with your own eyes. And now they can't just say these are isolated incidents because clips are building and building and it becomes a trend, which breaks their whole, we just need to live in multicultural harmony together and everything is hunky-dory. They have to feel anger with us. They have to empathise with us, or else you are going to see more violence.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that is the direction this entire thing is going. 100%. This is going in a very, 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 very bad direction. It's gotten to the point where also, not only are they stopping vehicles on the street, but they're going to where their government has housed these illegals, and they're burning the housing structures down. Yeah, the UK government went in and gave these illegals housing specifically for them. And the people have had enough, so they're going and literally setting it ablaze.
You fucking foreigners! You fucking foreigners!
Yeah. Going to where these illegals had been housed and literally setting it ablaze. And the climax of this is, what do you think? What do you think? How do you think this ends? Where do you think this goes? If the government continues to ignore the people and tell the people that, hey, you are a far-right extremist if you don't want to live in harmony with illegals from Sudan, you're a terrorist. You're the terrorist. You're the bad person. Meanwhile, you got people of Northern Ireland being beheaded in the middle of the streets, or attempted, because the guy didn't end up getting his head cut off, but the Sudanese individual definitely tried. He for sure, had there not been bystanders there to stop it, we 100%, or that guy 100% would have lost his head that day. Would have lost it, 100%. He was pinned down on the ground. It looked like there had been a fight previously because there was already, blood everywhere. As a matter of fact, he lost one of his eyes in the altercation, so maybe even blood coming from his eye. It was a little farther back, so you couldn't see a whole lot of detail, but you could definitely see that the man was bleeding. He's pinned on the ground, and the guy has a knife. And you could clearly see, him going down and, trying to hack away at this man's throat before, a bunch of bystanders jump in to stop him. Had those people not been there, he'd be dead. Take a listen to this gentleman and you let me know your opinion about this. Do you think he's right? Do you think he's wrong? Why or why not? Check it out.
Civil war is coming. And now is the time to actually... It's coming now. It's coming for a long time. The left are very fucking quiet. The liberal lunatic left are very quiet today online. And rightfully so, because even they, surely to fuck, even they are waking up now and saying, what the fuck, okay, this is getting beyond a joke.
Is he right? Is he wrong? Why not? I mean, there are protests all across the UK, including back in Southampton, where Henry Nowak, the gentleman that I spoke about earlier, was killed.
Terrorist scum! Off our streets! Terrorist scum! Off our streets! Terrorist scum! Off our streets! Terrorist scum! Off our streets!
Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. I mean, protests were scheduled all across that country, all up and down it. You name the city, they had a protest, right? Everywhere. Everywhere. They're tired of it. They're tired of it. And it's a darn shame that it's gotten to this point. Here is actually the Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Starmer, telling everyone to stay calm.
United in calling for calm and determined to restore order, support the police and all those on the front line, and ensure that justice is done.
Yeah, stay calm while your country is being overrun and your people are being beheaded in the streets in broad daylight. Stay calm, though. Stay calm. Got this under control. I'm the one that got you guys in this situation. Best believe I'm going to get you out of it. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. Now, thankfully, we got the Democrats out of office because this very easily could have been us. Had the Democrats had won, you think they would have closed the border? Not by a long shot. They would have opened it wide open, even wider than it had been before. And they wouldn't have cared. You know why? Because they would have known they had another 4 years in order to do it. And they wouldn't have had to do anything until the midterms. Right? You open the border wide open for a year and a half. Leading up to the midterms, you close it, you secure it, you say a bunch of nice and fluffy things. Maybe you pass a bill, right, to make it look like you're trying to do something. But by then, it's already too late. You've let in multiple millions of individuals, illegals, into this country. So it doesn't matter now. You've done your job. And now you've put on the show to say, oh, yeah, see, guys, I fixed it. And some people would buy it. Thankfully, we didn't buy it. But once again, if you needed another reason to show up in the midterms, here you go. Here you go. Unless you want this to be America, you better show up. You better show up. Even for individuals like Susan Collins in Maine. Yes, I know she's a rhino, whatever. I don't care. I don't. What's the alternative than Susan Collins? Graham Plattner, a guy who literally had a Nazi tattoo on his chest. Who there's another scandal coming out about the man every other week, it seems. A blatant communist. Okay, so would you rather have that or Susan Collins? I was always told something is always better than nothing. Right? I'd rather have a few dollars than no dollars. I mean, it's just common sense. Yeah, would I rather have all my money? Sure. But I also, if my options are a few dollars or no dollars, I'm going to take the few. I'll make it work. Okay? So that's my thought process on that. So even people like Susan Collins, and I think I saw Lindsey Graham just won his primary race. We get it. We get it. Right? But at the end of the day, I'd rather have something over nothing. These people winning their primaries means it's them or a Democrat. I mean, it's simple and plain. And I feel like we've gotten rid of quite a few rhinos already. You can't get rid of every single rhino in one sweep because then you risk ushering in a Democrat. Because now you're putting in somebody whose name recognition isn't there yet. So you're going to have to spend millions upon millions of dollars just getting their name recognition up. Okay. And so you can only do that so much. You only have so much cash to split between so many different people. Because I hear people saying, oh man, we got to get rid of Lindsey Graham. We got to get rid of Susan Collins. We got to get rid of this person. We got to get rid of that person and this person and that person and that. And it's like, you can't get rid of everybody in one sweep. You only got so much money. You do that and you're going to elect Democrats. It's just, to me, it's common sense. And it's one of the reasons why I couldn't get into politics, because I'm looking at Uncle Trump and I see why he didn't go at Lindsey Graham the way that a lot of people wish he would have, or go at Susan Collins the way that people wish he would have, because he's thinking long term. Like you can't just oust everybody all at once. It's not going to work. It's going to backfire on you 100%. 100%. Especially in a year like now where the momentum should be on the Democrat side, right? The tailwind should be behind the Democrats based on midterm history. It's only not happened 3 times in the past 100 years. You're going to have to spend massive amounts of dollars just to combat that alone. And then you got all of these new individuals that you got to get name recognition for. Some people are going to fall through the cracks, and that's not what you want. I'd rather keep Lindsey Graham than let a Democrat sit in his position. Sure, is he a rhino? Yeah, but still, he's better than nothing. Democrats aren't going to vote with us at all. At least Lindsey Graham sometimes does. Same thing with Susan Collins. Amongst some of the other rhinos, right? I feel like we did a fantastic job of standing on business when it came to, hey, that rhino is gone. That's exactly what we did. When we targeted a specific rhino, we made sure that they lost their race. We made sure that they lost their race. Okay? And so the stage is already set. Come next cycle in 2028, John Thune and Lisa Murkowski are up on the table. They'll be gone. Are we going to have some other rhinos that we can get rid of too? Yeah, we'll probably get rid of a few other rhinos in the process. Are there going to be some rhinos left over? 100% there will be, because once again, we're not going to be able to get rid of all of them. But guess what? That number continues to shrink. And we hold our majority. So, yeah. I know that was a bit long-winded. Sorry about that, but I just had to get it off my chest. I've been seeing a whole lot of that online. And sometimes it's just frustrating because, you know, I don't feel like responding to every single time I see, oh, well, we got to get rid of Susan Collins, and we got to get rid of Lindsey Graham, and we got to get rid of all the rhinos. We got to get rid. And it's like, no, that's not the best strategy. I get it. I'm not a fan of them either. Trust and believe me, I'm not. Okay, but I also want to win. I also don't want to hand the power back to Democrats. We see how that works. We see what happens when you do stuff like that, these leftists. So yeah, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, are you motivated to show up in these midterms based on everything that I've been showing you guys thus far, including today's video? Let me know. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.